Hi students, welcome back. Hope you people would have been comfortable animating the ball with tail rig. So the next exercise what we are planning to do is we are gonna work with a ball with leg kind of character rig. So this is the introduction to the ball with leg character rig. So this will help you to understand the basics of how to animate uh, the character with a leg. So what I'm gonna do, first I'm gonna reference the ball with leg character rig. So I'm going to my reference editor. Then I'm gonna click my reference. So I'm going to my desktop. So this is Ultimate Worker. This is the kind of rig which we are gonna animate right now. Just click reference. So your character rig is loaded here. Okay. So viewport, none, so show polygons, show nerve curves, lighting two-sided, so it works fine. So I don't need any other kind of controllers. So we'll first start off with seeing the controllers for the character rig. So you have your global controller here, so you can translate your character in your x-axis. So your horizontal one, x-axis. This is your translate y. Keep your character up and down. Next one is your translate z. Move forward and backward. Next one, your rotation in your x-axis. Rotation in your y. Rotation in your z. Okay. So the global scale will help you to scale the character totally. So it can be 2 or it can be 0.5. So the default is 1. So this is scale. So this is the basic of your global. Next one is your master controller, which is situated on the character, the waistline. So you can move it down, move it upward, all those kind of stuffs. So you can also rotate from left to right. Okay. So R is disabled, scaling. So the scale will be enabled only in the global because we want to have a uniform scale here. So this is the one we are having. Next one for the squash and stretch. Okay, W. Can you see the ball is having a squash and stretch similar to that of a ball. E is not enabled. R is also not enabled. So only the up and downs. So if you want to have a character having, when this character is planning to jump, we can make the character come down like this, make it bend like this, have a squash. Okay, so we'll have this kind of feel here. Okay, so right now what's happening here is due to the squash that we have applied on the ball, it's penetrating on the legs. This should not be there. So we need to correct it with something called as your pole vector. Hope you people would have studied these things in your rigging classes. So the pole vector is mainly given to controls of joints like knee as well as for your legs. Okay, for your elbow and for your knee. Okay, so you have your pole vector here, so I'll select it here. So if you move your pole vector, your leg tends to rotate. Okay, so for in a straight standing position, you will not be able to see it. So if I'm bending, if I'm bringing my character down, so if my pole vector is moving outside, you will be able to feel it more properly. So only when weight is applied to the joints, or when more amount of force is kept over to the joints, you will be able to see how your pole vector is working properly, not when the character is standing straight. Okay, So this is the use of your pole vector. So it defines the direction in which your character is trying to uh, exert the amount of force on the body. Okay, so bringing it to my normal position. Okay, so I will first try to explain the controllers, and today we are planning to create a blocking for our walk cycle. So for which we'll be having some basic poses from the animator survival kit. So we need to create 5 key poses for our walk cycle. So this is we have our your contact is nothing but your keyframes. Your pass position is your breakdown, and down position and up position are your in betweens. So how we animate your normal ball animation. So we have your extreme poses, which are your keyframes. Pass position is your breakdown. Down position is your in betweens. Okay, so we totally have 5 poses which we are planning to create. So I will be explaining how we need to create these poses. So if you are working on directly on a character rig, the number of controllers you need to animate will be more. So we are taking the basic character rig of a ball with leg walker rig. So you will be only having a minimal number of controllers for the hip as well as for the legs. So if we are comfortable enough to animate this one, we'll be moving on to our the next human rig. So we'll try to animate an in-place walk as well as a progressive walk with a walker rig. Okay. So when we take this walk cycle, so what we can see from here is in the starting position, the right leg is stretched forward and the left leg is bent backward. Okay. So we are currently not worried about the hands as of now. So in the breakdown kind of position, the leg comes directly to in line with the body. Can you see here? So the leg comes directly in line with the body. So the other leg, which is behind, comes in a T position. It's like an L, bent L kind of position. Okay. So again, when you're coming back to the final ending keyframe, the legs will be like swap from left to right. So the right leg tries to go backward and the left leg tries to come forward. So this is what we are trying to create. So I'll show you how to do this in your ball with leg character. Before which we'll see what are the controllers we are having for the foot. We have some additional kind of options that is available for your foot. So we'll see that options and then we'll start working on the character. So when you're going for your foot, you have 2 controllers here. One is the foot controller. So where you can convert the leg to an IK and FK. So most of our character walks, cycles, runs, and all those kind of things, leg will be in IK only, not in FK. Okay, you have the switch here. If it's 0, you'll be able to see 3 controllers here. Can you see? 1, 2, and 3. So normally for leg we don't use FK, we always use IK. So this will be always 1. So what happens here is we cannot move it. This is only for the switch for the IK and FK. Okay, so all the controllers or the parameters for your leg rig is present only here. Okay, so this is my translate. it helps you to take your leg up and down. Okay, this is one. So moving backward and forward. Okay, so first what I will try to do is I need to create a mel script for this character. So first I'll create a shelf. Okay, new shelf, walk. Okay, so what I'll do right now here is I'll just disable my polygons. Only the controls will be like visible. So I'll go to my script editor, clear all. So I can select all controller. See to it everything is selected. So now you can select all, place it on the timeline. Okay, so show polygons. So polygons will be here. So the number of frames would be like 30 or 25, whichever is fine, no issues. Okay, so I'm trying to animate on 1 second. We'll see how it works. So first we'll see the first pose how it is. So in your first pose, we are bothered about the leg and with the hip. So hip in the center, right leg is forward, left leg is leaning backward. Okay, so we'll try to create it. So what I'll do first, I'll select my hip, make it come down a little bit so that the force is exerted on the leg and the character is not standing straight. So slightly bend it down. I'm going to take this leg forward. Okay, so I'm going to take the left leg a little back. So you have options called as, these are the additional extra controllers here. So foot roll, we'll see what happens. I'll bring it in the normal position. First I'll explain the controllers here. Foot roll will try to leverage the bend from your toe or from your heel. So this is my toe or this is from your heel. Okay, from the forward and the backward. Mostly we'll be using this. Foot brake. Can you see? This is like bending your toe. This position, bending your toe. Toe roll, directly bending it. Okay. Leg twist. So when the amount of force is exerted more, you'll be able to see the leg twist better. Okay, similar to your pole vector. If you don't want to animate your pole vector, you can animate your shot with this. Okay, leg twist. Okay, heel twist. So rotating your heel from the single position. Okay, so if you want the character to like have a scratch of its leg on the floor, so we'll be using mostly the heel twist. Ball twist. So it's from the center. It's similar something like a dancing kind of act. If required, we'll be using it. Toe twist. So the toe will be pivoted and the leg will be like animating. Okay. So these are the flexibility the rigger has given to the animator now to make believable animation. So more the number of controllers, more intuitive we can make changes in your animation. So whatever the requirement the animator asks, the rigger will be creating suitable kind of controllers and giving them the flexibility to animate the character in a better way. So for what we'll be mostly working on with this, foot rolls, okay, and going up and downs with the hips. Okay, so right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my side view. Okay, my hip is at the center, so my Let's select this controller, right leg, this is my left leg, and I go backward. Okay, so again lighting two-sided. Okay, so first position, what's gonna happen is I'm gonna select this, my foot is gonna roll. It is gonna roll. My character is not gonna come so much down, it's gonna be here. So this one would be roll. Can you see the bend that's happening? Okay, toe roll. So I'm bending my toe. Okay, so this one toe roll will be like slightly lesser. So after doing this, I'm gonna bring it down, take my leg backward. Okay, you should see to it that the leg is not straight as well as not bent too much. It should not be bent very much, or it should not be like too straight like this, straight line. It should be like slightly like this, slightly bent. Okay. So what I will do, and select the mel script, press an S. So this is my keyframe. This is my first pose. Okay. So I'll show you with this. So this is my first pose, starting pose of your keyframe. Okay. So I've tried creating this. So what I will do, I'll create the same keyframe here. So when I play it, no animation is taking place. So now what I'm planning to do right now is I'm planning to make everything in tangent as stepped. Okay, so that your animation is not playing, it's like in steps. So here when you take these two positions, the leg needs to flip each other. So the position of my right needs to go to the left, and my position of my left needs to goes to my right. So what I will do, I will copy, I'll go to my first frame, select the left leg controller, right leg, copy, go to frame 25, I'll go to my 25th frame right leg controller because I need to swap it with the left leg, right leg, paste. So what happens, the position of my left leg is being copied to the position of my right leg in frame 25. Okay, so what I will do, so I'll go to my frame 1, this position, right leg, copy. So I need to copy and paste the right leg position from frame 1 to the left leg position in frame 25. So I've copied it. So I'll select my left leg, go to frame 25, right leg, paste it. Okay, so we'll see what happens here. Can you see the swapping of my leg? Position is the same, but see the jitter that's happening here from frame 24 to 25. My legs are getting snapped. Or if you're not able to see it clearly, what you can do is make it in linear. Okay, you will be able to see the flow of your legs. Okay, so I have not animated my hip totally, so we'll come to the hip later. So first we'll try to get the poses for the legs properly. Okay, so first again I'm gonna keep this in stepped. Okay, so next what I'm planning to do is go to frame number 12, select all. I'm going to keep a keyframe. So here my right leg needs to come back to its original position. So it needs to be the dead center in this position. So what I'll do, I'll make everything 0. Okay, even Z to be 0. Okay, so then what happens, as my hip has come down, there's a lot amount of energy that's been exerted. So my leg tries to go back to its original position. Okay, so here in this pose, your leg needs to be straight, in the straight line. So this one will be in a bent position. So this leg will come here. So I will make everything 0. So it's always better you animate it from the beginning. Don't work with values then and there. So I'm trying to rotate W. My leg is here. So toe roll. Can you see it? Just rotate it. So this is the position, this is the kind of pose I'm trying to look at. Okay, so it's okay with me. So this is my breakdown kind of position. I'll show this to you in my references. So this is the position I'm doing. So here what happens, what's happening here is, in the, just because the 2D animation, you can see the leaning forward in your animation, but in 3D we normally don't tend to have this much amount of lean. Just because it's a 2D medium, the amount of exaggeration that is required to make your animation better needs to be more. That is the reason the author of this book, Richard Williams, has animated so much, giving distinct character for its torso. Just because we are not having any kind of the topmost part of the body available in this rig, we are not bothered about the topmost part, so we are keeping it straight. Okay, so it's straight. It's okay, it's fine. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, so again, if you want to feel the kind of changes that's happening, select tangent, go to linear, you see. Okay, hope you're getting it. Okay, just making the height proper. Okay, so see to it, we should see to it our foot is not going inside the floor like this. So we need to add more amount of, so I have my keyframes and breakdowns. We need to add more number of in betweens. Tangent, stepped. Okay, so next one is your in between. We're going to frame number 6, select all, one more. Okay, so here what happens, my hip tries to come down. A little bit more, just because I'm gonna give more amount of force here. Sorry, I'm just gonna select this. Hip is gonna come more, so my leg is gonna snap. Okay, no toe rolls. My leg is gonna snap. My leg is gonna get more amount of energy. So here at this position, my leg needs to be, my knee, all the force is exerted on my knee, and my leg needs to be very straight here. So my whole weight of my body will be only placed on this leg. It should not be coming inward, also it should not be like outward. It needs to be like perfect straight. So all the force is kept on my body and your hip controller is down. Okay, select all. I'm gonna keep keyframe here. So this needs to be animated, else it will look very still. Can you see the difference here? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna animate. This needs to be like bent more. Toe twist needs to be more. I'll not have a twist. Let's see what happens. I'll stick onto my rotation. It's not working. Taking it up. Okay, just a toe roll. Done. Just gonna keep it in linear to check the flow. I'm able to see some jerk that's happening here. First, I'll concentrate on my right leg. So the right leg comes down, snaps to the ground. So it takes whole amount of body weight and it goes back. So right leg is totally fine. So just have a problem with my left leg here. So when it's starting, it's having some amount of jerk. Can you see? At this position, it's having some jerk. So this needs to be cleared. So that is the reason we need to take care of our animation properly. So what I'll try to do is have more amount of rotation to this controller. We'll see whether it fixes our problem. I'm increasing my foot roll. So you also need to take care that this knee is not popping front and back. So when there is more amount of popping of your knees, you feel the animation will not be like very smooth. First, we'll concentrate on the right one. See, it bends, it comes back to its normal position, again it comes back. So we are not kept this position, so we don't need to worry about it. We are still working on this. Okay. But when you are starting here, any bends, pops, again comes up. So pops, go back. So better not to have a foot roll. Let's see what happens. Let's see whether I can animate with the rotation. So everything is experimentation here. This is my 0. Bring it here, just having a rotation, bringing it up, seeing whether it's working. Okay. Can you feel the difference? So what I did previously was I was having a foot roll. So foot roll is not giving me desired amount of a smooth kind of transition from one pose to another. So I totally remove the foot roll. I have just tried to rotate my foot of my character. So here is one. This is my two. So I can even make the toe break better so that it touches the floor. Toe roll can be minimal. Okay, so this is frame number one, this is frame number two, frame number three, pose number four, pose number five. Okay, so this pose I'll show you in the diagram. Can you see the force is totally exerted on the leg, and this leg is bent at the back. So there will be a significant minimal amount of changes that's happening between these two legs, the back leg, the hind leg. Okay, so this is what we are planning to get it there. Okay, see whether it's working. Hope you are able to get that feel. So in the first position, your foot is rolled a lot. Can you see here the foot? The next position, it's like straight, almost straight. So same way, it's bent. So it's almost coming to the straight, and then going like this. So here, this pose we need to keep it properly. So at this position, what's happening here is my stable leg tries to go up. So when you see the hip position, your hip tends to come down, then slightly comes back to its normal. It goes up again, it comes down. Okay, so here in the same way, take this one to be my normal. Okay, next position, my hip comes down, next it goes up. So here in this position, my hip tends to slightly go up. Okay, then my leg tries to go backward, so I'll have a foot roll here, toe roll, foot roll. Can you see it? Yep. So it goes back. Okay. So this leg, see how it goes. It's bent inward, so it's going forward. So this leg needs to go forward. Okay. So keep this 0. Just because the character legs are like very big, yeah, having difficulty in animating it, just because, and it's also a cartoonic character. Okay, goes back, rotates, see the popping, bring it down, rotate. So toe roll should be minimal. We'll see pose by pose. I'll try to explain what I have done. So in my first pose, my leg is like slightly bent here at the joints. So my leg is pointing forward, and this one is like maximum bend in the toe. And here the toe is like, you can also work on the toe a little bit more. Give a toe a good amount of bend. So I can copy it, paste it to this one. So your starting position and your ending position needs to be like perfectly synchronized. Then only you'll have a good amount of. Can you see the up and downs in your balls? 1, 2. You can bring it down more if you want to show more amount of energy. Normal, and this is like still going up back towards normal. Okay. Okay. So this is the basic kind of blocking I've done. Tangent, or linear, just played. This is your basic walk cycle. So there are some amount of twitches that's happening in the leg. Can you see? The knee is like vibrating here and there. So if you fix all these kind of things with the graph, I think your animation would be like very good. Just see what's happening. Just select this controller, Windows, animation editor, your graph. Okay, everything is linear, no issues. So then with my this two controllers, Windows, animation editor, my graph. Okay, everything is fine. So now if I'm applying a spline, you'll be having a very good animation. Tangent, spline. So right now, don't be bothered more about your knees. just be bothered only about the foot rolls. So we are still not worked on the other kind of controllers. We can even minimize amount of the ups and downs that's happening with the body in our graph variator, so that in order we can minimize this amount of little kind of jerks that's happening in our legs. So this is the basics of your character walk cycle. So hope you people try doing this and send me a file by the end of the class. Happy animating. Have a great day.